Ancient beliefs say this: not every birth is about life. Some are about entry, a crossing point, a test for the mother, a mission in disguise. Not every soul is here to walk the world. Some just need to touch it, to fulfill a contract, to mark a timeline, to shift yours, and then they leave. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's a 49-day cycle between death and rebirth called the Bardo. During this window, a soul chooses or is guided into a new womb. But here's the twist: the soul doesn't always enter at conception. In some teachings, it waits until weeks or even moments before birth. If the pregnancy ends early, the soul may never have entered the body at all. No trauma, no punishment, just a detour. But some souls do enter briefly, and when that body dies, they return to the Bardo, confused, because they weren't meant to die. Something interrupted the contract. So when does the soul enter the body? Ancient systems disagree, but here's the pattern. It's not always at conception. In Hinduism, the Garbhadana Sutra says the soul hovers near the womb, watching the parents. Sometimes it enters at heartbeat, sometimes at breath, sometimes not at all. But what about souls who do enter, then leave? Some realise what's happening and choose to abort the mission. They wake up inside the body and feel it. I've been here before. I didn't heal last time. This place is still broken. I'm not staying. So they reject the incarnation and they trigger the body to stop. Some believe the soul knew it would be interrupted, that it came not to live, but to activate the mother, the father, the timeline. Some souls do choose to come here. They see the pain, the mess, the madness, and still say yes. They want to help, to heal, to anchor light into dark places. But what happens when the vessel is denied, when the mother aborts? Was that part of the plan? Or a glitch? Some believe the soul knew it would be. They want to help, to heal, to anchor light into dark places. You ever wonder why certain paths into life are blocked, and while others are left wide open? In ancient systems, the womb wasn't just physical. It was seen as a dimensional gate. Who comes through and when shapes more than family. It shapes the frequency grid. In some places, these portals are tightly controlled, not for morality, but for timing, for influence, for design. Because when certain souls try to enter, the system doesn't always let them, not unless it can shape the outcome. And some lineages, they don't just protect bloodlines, they protect access points. Some systems care deeply about beginnings, not just how life starts, but who starts it and when. Because timing isn't random, and entrances shape everything. You've probably noticed certain gateways are protected, guarded, restricted. Maybe it's not just about health or law, maybe it's about access. Because when something powerful tries to enter, the system notices. And sometimes it redirects the flow. Not every soul that's interrupted disappears. Some leave clean. Some linger. In many indigenous traditions, spirits of unborn or early lost children are not punished or recycled. They hover in between their watchers, protectors, sometimes even guides for future siblings. In Japanese Shinto, these spirits are called mizuko, water children. They're honoured with prayers and offerings to soothe their in-between state. But if they're ignored, forgotten, unacknowledged, some teachings say they can grow restless, not angry, just untethered. And if left without closure, they may circle back to try again. Or follow the one who opened the gate. Most souls understand, but not all. Some feel the rejection like a scar, not just in the body, but in the energetic field. And if they return, they don't come quietly. In Tibetan tantric teachings, it's said that interrupted souls can return with unresolved karmic heat. Sometimes in the same bloodlines, sometimes in the same womb. They may bring chaos, illness, unexplainable rage. Not because they are evil, but because they are wounded. The mother may sense something's wrong. The child may feel out of place. Because when a soul remembers its rejection, it brings the storm with it. Just because a soul didn't stay doesn't mean it disappeared. Many mystics, mediums, and energy workers have connected to spirits of the unborn. Not ghosts, not hauntings, just souls still in orbit. These spirits often show up in dreams as flickers of light. As children you never had, but somehow recognize. You can still speak to them. You can say sorry, you can say thank you. You can say, I wasn't ready. And many respond with warmth, with peace, because most didn't come here to judge. They came to help you remember who you are, even in their absence. Sometimes the baby is born, breathes, cries, lives, and then gone, no explanation, no illness. Just silence. They call it SIDS, cot death, a medical mystery. But ancient teachings didn't see it as random. They saw it as a frequency drop, when the soul decides it can't complete the mission, or was never supposed to. In indigenous American law, some babies come as light messengers, meant only to touch the earth briefly, to seal a contract, to close a karmic loop, and leave before the world buries their light. They weren't stolen, they exited on time. They call it natural, and they call it unexplained. But for the parents holding the body, there's nothing natural about it. Sudden infant death syndrome, non-breath, then none. Perfect health, no signs, and just gone. But spiritually, then some teachings say it's not random. In Sufi mysticism, the child's soul may complete its karmic task in days or even hours. Its death isn't failure, and it's a pre-planned exit. Like a flash drive that plugged in and downloaded what it needed and pulled out, without a trace. Painful for us, but for the soul, mission complete. Why would a soul choose this? Why come here? Just to leave? In many ancient systems, Hinduism, the Kabbalah, Tibetan Tantra, it's believed some souls incarnate to balance karma quickly. They've been here before, they've already done the full cycle, but they need one last alignment, one final anchor into the physical plane to close a loop. So they come in, touch the earth, download a moment, trigger a shift and leave, not as punishment, not as loss, but as a sacrifice. Because some souls carry missions that require only seconds, and they do it for us. Here's a truth most people aren't ready for. Some babies leave not to complete karma, but to stop something else from coming in. In esoteric Christianity, it's believed that the soul must be aligned before the veil lifts. But sometimes a rift opens. An entity, parasitic or non-human, tries to enter the body before the soul locks in. The body senses it. The soul resists. The system shuts down. A sudden death, a short life. But behind the scenes, a timeline just got sealed. A hijack prevented. Because some exits aren't tragedies. They're acts of spiritual warfare, disguised as loss. Sometimes you don't realise the change until later, the shift in your energy. The dreams that started, the path you never would have walked if they had stayed. These souls don't fade. They hover, not as hauntings, but as anchors in the unseen. You might feel them in a breeze, in a child's laugh, in a moment you almost died, but didn't. In many traditions, these spirits become guides, protectors, silent partners on your path. They opened a door, then stepped back through it, so you could walk through first. To honour them is simple. Remember, and move forward with the light they left behind. You've been here before. You feel it. The people, the pain, the patterns, they're all too familiar. That's not déjà vu, that's residue. A soul echo from your last cycle through this realm. The reincarnation system isn't just spiritual, it's mechanical. Scriptures across cultures hinted at it, but never finished the sentence. In Gnostic texts, the archons built a fake light trap. When you die, they say, you're drawn to a false welcoming meant to pull you back in. To forget, to repeat, to suffer again, not because you're evil, but because you're unfinished. And unfinished souls fuel the grid. They tell you reincarnation is for growth, that you come back to learn, evolve, ascend. But what if that's only true the first few times? Over time, souls start to forget. Each life leaves scars, imprints, traumas. And those create contracts. Unseen, undocumented, but binding. In Theosophy and Gnostic systems, dark entities pose as guides. Offering next life agreements, they speak in light, but trap you in shadow. The more lives you live, the more debt they say you owe. Until you're looping, not growing, reborn into trauma. Attracted to pain, addicted to the amnesia. That's not evolution, that's soul imprisonment. The trap isn't just after death, it's everywhere in life. Exit points appear in moments of stillness, pain, silence, grief, deep joy, near death. Moments where the veil thins and you remember something you were never taught. Ancient Egypt warned of judges at the gates, but said you could refuse the weighing. In Tibetan Buddhism, the Bardo Thodol gives instructions for how to choose no form and escape the wheel. In Kabbalah, the Ein Sof, infinite source, is beyond cycles. But few remember the frequency. Most follow the false light, the tunnel, the voices. The trick is simple. Don't follow what comforts you. Follow what wakes you. That's the door. Most say there's a tunnel, a light, a pull. Familiar voices calling, peaceful, beautiful, safe. But what if it's a trick? In Gnostic tradition, the light seen after death is a projection, cast by the archons. They scan your life, they extract your regret. They replay your traumas like a movie reel, then they offer a chance to do it better, rebirth. In Tibetan Buddhism, the Bardo warns, if you follow the light without knowing the truth, you'll return to the wheel. The real light, it doesn't pull, it waits. And only those who remember can choose it. There are two lights, and most don't know the difference. The first is warm, comforting, familiar. It pulls you in. It shows you your life. It speaks in the voice of someone you trusted. But it's a projection, an AI loop of emotion and memory, built to make you choose to return. The second light is different, still, silent. It doesn't flash your past, it asks nothing. It just waits, it's the true source, the unprogrammed origin. If you can stay still, resist the pull, and remember your soul's name, you bypass the trick and go home. Death isn't private anymore. When the soul leaves the body, other entities are sometimes already waiting. Some want to redirect you, some want to stop you, and a few want to take your place. In esoteric Islam, there are whispers of jinn waiting at the deathbed. In Kabbalah, Fallen sparks cling to escaping light, hoping to ride the exit stream. In shamanic teaching, spirits not ready to incarnate will latch onto newly departed souls to steal their path out. If your soul is weak, lost, drugged, or afraid, you're vulnerable, because not all exits are clean, and some get intercepted. When the moment comes, you'll be disoriented. That's part of the trap. But if you remember this, you won't come back unless you choose to. 1. Don't follow voices. If someone familiar calls you, wait. Real guides don't chase. They stand still. 2. Ignore regret. It's bait. You are not your past. 3. Call your true name, not your earth name, your soul code. Say it in your mind. If you don't know it, say this. I return only to source. No contracts, no cycle, no deception. 4. Look beyond the light. If it pulls you, pause. If it waits for you, it's real. And finally, breathe one last time in stillness. Then step out on your terms.